Oh, watching this while doing red light therapy. Okay, here's an idea. Okay. A PC monitor that maps all the colors to shades of red and then shines really, really bright. Okay. We're going to have these files that we want to rewrite, and they're going to have a file name that's a string. Um, and then, I don't know, something like that. We'll figure out what that is. And then something like that. No. We'll make it a pointer. Okay. We're making a plugin. Actually, declarations, procedure headers, procedure bodies, structs, others. All. Okay, we're going to use all. Okay. Let's make this more expandable. So wait. So I'm trying to write a thing that will rewrite all my files that use the old unary dereference operator. And I'm wondering if we don't, like, because it's something that's meant to be phased out, if we don't give you enough information to know if it's an old one or a new one, which we will. Let me see if program print does anything. Append operator. Operator to string. So we give you this. Yeah, so literally, I think we turn it into pointer dereference. So this is a problem. We're going to continue writing this code as if we didn't have this problem. Note. Something like that. We just want to get this to build. Pachoom, pachoom, pachoom. We're deleting all this. Pachoom, pachoom. We just started with the check module just to, just to make it a little easier. Get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. So we want to be able to detect that. Okay. Before intercept. Wait, I thought that was meta program. Oh, because we're not using there. Down. Oh. Let us pass a holder. I guess. I'm not sure I need that. All right, so we're going to go cowabunga. Actually, we're going to log wait, I think you do it this way. Like that. You would think I would know. Log format string. Oh. Um, why didn't this one work? Incompatible structs given location. Huh. So I guess we have to make one of these. All right, we do that here. All right. Too much text. All right, file name is not a member of code node. Right, so now we have a load info index. Oh, we have enclosing load. Dude, just because we're packing the game a little bit, or packing the data a little bit, we're just trying to print right now. This is silly. Mr. Silly. Okay, so the enclosing load. Okay, we're getting cowabungas, but it's not. It is not showing me where. Let's do compiler report, because that will do the location. Cowabunga. Put the new line. Okay, well, this is every unary operator. Oh, because we said and one, because I literally, okay, so let's do this. Okay, and then okay. So I think we should change this. All right, we're not going to worry about it for now. We should probably change that. All right, we got all our dereferences. Everything. And we got this one. So we can't tell which one's old and which one's new. We don't know. Good morning, people. Please know Lex Friedman. What's wrong with Lex Friedman? What did Lex Friedman ever do to you? We've got some vague plans to be on some podcasts sometime soon, but they're not solidified. So I cannot tell you where or when. It is like the end times, except hopefully not like that at all. He's kind of cringe. I mean, what what's wrong with being cringe? Go on the stand up and give a stand up update of your current progress on the compiler. I am not sure that that would be relevant to that audience. First of all, I don't think the stand up is about giving progress reports about projects. So that's strike one. That is strike one. Okay. So this is kind of annoying. I'm going to put. See, I want to add something. Node flags. We could put a node flags. Um, because we don't have a flags type on code unary operator. Um, let's do this. Okay. So we're going to say okay. So now this won't ping anything because we haven't set that flag. The actual compiler doesn't know what that flag is. But we will add it to the compiler. Some knowledge or resources about building slot games. I mean, here's what I would say about that. If you want to embed a mini game in your main game, then it kind of not needs to not be any random game. Like you need to have an opinion about how it works, right? You need to have some game design idea in your mind about why is this going to be a good mini game. And that's actually most of the information you need to know how the randomness should behave, right? Like you should be determining how the randomness should behave. You should not be asking someone for permission about how to make things random. Is there a tea related podcast? I would go on a tea related podcast and talk about Golden Monkey. So we want to add this deprecated flag. So we're already using okay. So we're going to go into the parser. I might, yeah, let's go see. Um, right? What did I call it? Past expression. Just making sure it was the right field because fields in C++ are in general not strongly type checked. Haven't seen my little frother action in ages. I did recently get some new chai juice and I have made some chais the past couple of days. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, they've been good. It's a little too late for that right now, though. Don't want the caffeine situation. Do I call it mint tea? So it depends. It depends on what class you are. If you're lower or middle class, you say it's mint tea. If you're a fucking poser, you say it's a mint tisane, or however the fuck you pronounce that. And if you're actually upper class, you call it a mint tea. Won't believe unless you see it in person. Well, you know, we should do a camera stream at some point just because we haven't really been camera streaming in a while because I just like it more without the camera. But, you know, you're specifically talking about slot machine like the ones in Clover Pit. I don't know anything about Clover Pit. I've never played Clover Pit. Isn't that the J.J. Abrams movie where a giant Godzilla falls into a pit? Boiled mint. I mean, tea with actual mint is really good. Like one of the best teas that I've ever had in my life was at the World Arab Institute in Paris and just like outside on the ground floor, or maybe it wasn't outside, I don't know, but on the ground floor they have this whole tea situation and it's just like black tea and they throw a bunch of mint in there that's fresh and then they add a ton of sugar. It's really good. Is it as good as golden monkey with milk and honey? Maybe not. I had a giant. I was driving pretty far to pick up a computer today. I had like a 50-minute drive, and I made a giant. So Porsche, um, when you buy one of their cars, they give you like one of these, Porsche branded, um, hot drink sippy cup kind of things. They gave me two actually. I lost one, so I have one. Um, they're freaking gigantic. They're like the biggest hot drink holder you've ever seen. Um, and I made a whole one of those of Golden Monkey with milk and honey today, and drank it on the drive. You'd think there'd be a Golden Monkey 2 if Golden Monkey is so good. Well, there is an Iron Monkey 2 and 3, I think, but I've never seen those because the original Iron Monkey is all you need. Okay, so we need. Um, I felt like we were using more flags than that. We are. No arithmetic overflow check is not being sent. We got to correct that oversight. Okay. Okay. What is it called? What is the user facing? Uh, okay. Now we actually got to do that on import as well. want to make sure to do both of these. If we do a speed up there. Wait. Wait, what? Never mind. I thought that was a thing. Maybe we want it to be a thing later, but it won't be a thing now. That was a lie. For you, it's a specific type of drink, not the process. So, technically, in English, and most people don't actually know this, but technically in English, it's only supposed to be called tea if it is from the tea plant. Because all these different teas, black tea, red tea, white tea, they all come from varietals of the same plant. Now, there are other herbal concoctions. That's what a frickin' tisane is. I don't know how to pronounce that. Um, that are not tea, but that we treat like tea. And that's what, like, if you just ground some mint up with some other spices or something, but there was no tea leaf, that's what that would be. And I think in Europe, they're a lot more explicit about that. Like, I think I was in Germany and I was trying to communicate with them and I was trying to ask them if they had like a mint tea, and they were very confused by the question. And I think they did have one, right? You can imagine a future where people can just make their own languages or DSLs. I mean, I think DSLs are a terrible idea. So, um, you know, is it good if people can make them? Hey, look, we got a cowabunga on our one thing, which is what we wanted. That was what we wanted. Okay, so I'm not going to try to finish all this tonight, but what we're trying to do is we want to convert all of our old style operator to new style operator by automatically rewriting the file. We could do it with program print, but that like destroys your source code, right? So what we want to do is find all the instances of this. We want to load the source file. We want to change only the part that we want to change, and then we write it back. Okay. Okay. So, um, let's actually, the table is going to be from a, um, is it a message file? Message file. Okay. So when we get one of these, um, we have, I think, find or add. Yeah. Okay. However, yeah, this adds something by value, which means no pointer stability, which is probably fine. All right. Okay. Find or add. We're going to say file is find or add. My dot files to rewrite. The key is the load. Right. And then we want to put in here we want to put an old range which I think we'll use code node dot location, right? So we have this location. Um, eh. Text range. I'm going to do this. Okay. And then we're going to have rewrite, single rewrite. Source range is going to be a text range. All right. Actually, why bother? Let's do that, right? I don't know. We'll see. So this is where in the source file, and this is validation text. This is so that we can verify the text we expected it should match. All right. I mean, that actually might be annoying for reasons. Might be annoying. Just not do that yet. And new text is a string, right? So when we do here, okay, we're going to comment this out for now. All this. And we're going to go array add file dot we're going to add that, and we're going to say L0 is okay. Now we got to decide. Now we decide on the replacement text. If it's just with followed by an identifier, not parenthesized, then we do postfix dot star after the identifier. For all other cases, just substitute that for that. Okay, so we actually want to pass this so that we don't have to recast. We don't want to recast. All right. No. Always use at for taking address and $ for explicit dereference. Why? Why are those the choices? There are also a few cases where it becomes a cast. Like what? Oh, comes before a cast. Yeah. No, that's fine. And do in those cases, this will just work. And if you preferred putting it after, you could change it manually if you want. Or maybe, I mean, maybe if the cast is already parenthesized, we should put it after or something. I don't know. All right, let's just say okay. Is it called ident or identifier? Ident. That's weird. I usually don't abbreviate, but I did there. Um, if dot star will be deprecated in the future too. Probably not. I think it's useful to have a prefix dereference and just having it look like the postfix one, but with parentheses around it, reminds people that it's a similar operator, right? So I think it's an okay solution. Prefix dereference is somewhat rare right now, but it does happen. Sorry, this is not dot expression. Wait, it doesn't matter if an identifier is parenthesized or not. Like, I think it's fine. Um, so, okay, L1, C1, expand the target range of the rewrite to include the identifier. And then, right, so, and then we're going to go substitute equals sprint whatever dot star ident dot name. We will also get rid of any backslash formatting, etc. Okay. Oh, whoops. That was meant to be up here. You could imagine a more powerful version of this tool that looks for, like, if there's a gap between the operator and the identifier, you could look for what's between and preserve that. I don't want to deal with that right now. It's maybe not that hard. That's on the same line, so we don't toast comments, etc. Like, if the identifier's not on the same line, that's a little bit sus that, like, we don't know what's going on. So we'll only do this here. All right, and then there we go. And then we need a function for when we finish. All right. We'll get this. Um, okay, so whatever replacements, and then for um, we will want to sort these. Okay. Let's go sorted. Okay. Okay. We're just going to put the line number and the character number. Okay, unary dot expression. Is it called subexpression? Yes. What happened there? I just didn't write that part. Okay. Procedure call did not. Call cites argument types. File to rewrite. Oh. Oh. Right. I forgot this is a two-layer thing. I I forgot this is a two-layer thing. You don't really like that mystruct.star.member and mystruct.member are the same thing. What? What? No, I know what you're saying. I have no idea why you're wasting my time complaining about that, to be honest. Like, what the fuck? Like, if you really think that you should have a different operator to dereference a pointer, like in C, I mean, you can go use a language that does that. There are many, many, many reasons not to do that. Dude, I've spent so many fucking hours in C++ changing things back and forth between dot and arrow. It's unbelievable. All right, so for every file, we're going to have a sorted array. So this is really files. Um, file dot fully path file name. All right. Um, we're going to go for file dot single rewrites. Um, oh, okay. Okay. Line 5, character 10. We're not logging the same way, but here we go. Line 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. There we go. I mean, I'm a little tired, but um, let's just do a little bit more. Why is it always Eastern Europeans who show up being like the smooth brain negativity people? I assume I assume Prizrak one is an Eastern European name. Like, what is your deal, dude? You have no idea what's you're criticizing something that you have no idea what's going on at all. So what do you think the chances are that you're right? Like what do you think the chances are that you're right? Seriously. We've not seen any progress in this regards. What are you even talking what progress do I owe you? And if you're not one of the 1,000 people on the beta who are getting active updates with very long, I mean, dude, we send out a progress report every time we send out a beta. There's 9,000 lines of progress reports. Have you ever done 9,000 lines of anything in your life except for cocaine? All right. I tried. I gave you a chance. I gave you a chance to be reasonable, and you're a dick. So goodbye. Like, you just can't. Here's the thing you got to understand is like people who actually do work don't have time for stupid arguments. Like, we just don't. Like, it's very easy for someone to just like get a weird wrong idea in their head and be obstinate and demand that you spend your personal time and energy explaining to them because they're the important person and you're not. And it's like, no, you got stuff to do. And like anyone productive really has stuff to do and they don't, oh, you know, you're not their lord, right? Provably so if they're more productive than you. So, you know, it's just the fact that people on the internet don't understand this and don't understand that that's how they're coming across is like the real AIDS of the situation because it's nonstop. Like, people think that if they project themselves as haughty and important that you'll buy that attitude and understand that they're like supposed to be above you and important, but that doesn't actually work on the internet, and it especially doesn't actually work when somebody's actually accomplished things. So just if you have ever tried that, don't. It's not a winning tactic. It's not a winning tactic. Your son Mateo says hi. Well, I say hi as well. Don't do drugs, kids. Like, has any, this is an interesting question. Has any modern, there's a bunch of these languages now that are systems languages that are somehow descended from C and trying to do something better, right? How many of those have kept a different operator for struct versus pointer dereference? It can't be very many, if if any, right? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's at least one, but like it can't be very many. Yeah. It's just for people who have programmed in C++ plus plus a lot, they've just experienced that as just annoying friction that happens when you refactor stuff all the time, right? And then, C++ plus plus has other band-aids that let you get around it in other ways, but those band-aids are poisonous, right? So like one of them is um, well, just don't use pointers, use references everywhere, right? um, which like I guess is fine. I mean, I guess if you standardize your code base instead of by pointer or by value, everything is by reference or by const reference. Maybe, but that's kind of gross. And then what about stuff you declare on the stack? That's going to be by value, right? Um, and then any most code that you interface with is going to want a pointer. So so it's not like you could really stick to reference and const reference, right? So like it just makes a mess. Wait, is the guy I banned this? I don't think that was the same guy who was talking about Arrow, right? I, I think it was someone else. Yeah, yeah. Okay. People are talking about it in a way that's confusing me and making me think it's the same person, but it's not. Like I've literally had times in C++ plus plus when over the course of a week, I changed the same function back and forth between dot and arrow like 4 times as I was refactoring. That's why this particular decision is this way in this language, because I just like that kind of thing is kind of dumb, right? Not even kind of dumb. It's very dumb. But I mean, it's not like the designers of C knew that that was going to become a problem. It's just with decades of experience, you should just notice the problems and try to do something about them. No, I'm pretty sure the guy who was being a jerk is not in the beta at all. Like it sounded like the person talking about arrow versus dot was in the beta. That was my I mean, I don't know who on Twitch is who in the beta and whatever, but it sounded like that. And then but the guy who was saying we have not seen any progress definitely doesn't know anything. So he is not in the beta for sure. Um, so he is not one of my customers. Okay, so let's just factor this into a thing. I'm gonna pass the plugin because we're gonna do a lot. Um, right? Okay, successful. I mean, should we delete bubble sort? like I kept it there just because the code for quicksort is a lot more complicated, or a little more complicated. Um, but like nobody really wants bubble sort, right? Is there a way to force parameter passing by value? I mean, if it's a pointer, you just dereference the pointer when you pass the parameter. But there is no, I mean, there's not really, for large things in this language, there's not really passing by value anyway. It just doesn't really exist. Yeah, I mean, bubble sort is good for incremental, like things that are mostly sorted and you just need to touch them up. That can be faster than like quicksort. But let's be honest, that's a very niche use case. Like, does literally anyone in the beta right now with 1,000 people have that use case? I would guess the answer is no. Go made a similar mistake with declare variable and declare a struct field. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people have rationales for that that make sense at the time, but then you see how things play out when you write a bunch of software and you're like, okay, well, maybe that wasn't the best decision, right? Okay. Okay. So, as we like to do, we're going to do read entire file. Um, I think we changed these, right? Oh no, dude. Read entire file still has the success second. Um, okay. So we'll just get the lines. File.lines equals split. We're just going to go. They tell you should never go full retard, but I just did. Um, oh, wait. Does equal not work for assignments? Like struct assignments? That's interesting. All right. This is fine anyway. It's a little cleaner. Read entire file. Split. I'm just using things all over the place. Attempt to cast a non-resizable. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, all right. Okay, so well, 10 lines, that sounds about right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th is maybe the empty string or something. Because we have a new line right before the end, and I think when you do that, we have empty string. Do I want people to email cases of success not being first? The next beta is a lot of tweaks and stuff, and I think we want to wait. Like the next beta might require, like for example, the whole reason we're doing this right now is because we're going to make this a warning so we can flush it out of the code, and we're going to give people. So there's like 1,000 of these at least in Sokoban, and I don't want to do them by hand. I did them by hand in the modules and stuff, and that took a while. But then I was like, look, we could provide a little plugin. It would be another test of the plugin system. It would be a thing. So part of the thesis that I have, of course, is that we can change syntax heavily in the future and rewrite people's files, like give them a tool for that, because the metaprogramming is so strong. And so, why not get a little bit of a start on that in this case? And so that's why we're doing this. And this could, eventually evolve into a more sophisticated thing, but you always get started somewhere. Yeah, so that's the story. So this is not the only thing. It's like um we got rid of the percent old thing. We got rid of must. We got rid of this thing that I don't think anyone used but me, but we got rid of it. We got rid of some deprecated functions. It's maybe a lot. This maybe, so I just don't want to do more until later, is all I'm saying. Something similar when we finally wrap up the Castravaganza. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I shouldn't have let that go as long as I have, but because it's been like a year. But there's just there's just a lot going on. I mean, the thing about casting is I think it falls into like at least two camps where people are heavily opinionated and there's no clear answer. Like I honestly don't see the need for any cast syntax besides the original one. The only real problem we had was the need for a prefix dereference and a postfix dereference, which I think was a good. Now that we've had that for a while, I think that's, you know, looking fine. And so I kind of feel like the original cast syntax is fine. Um, because I think, I don't know. Are we going to keep all the casting systems? No. We're going to have a pogrom and eliminate casting systems and make somebody angry at some point. Like, I feel like nobody really uses function style cast, even though that might be better. So, like, I just don't like function style cast seems better because there's syntactic markers in the right places, but like, I just don't seem to ever want to type it when I program. And that might be because I'm used to the old one, and it might just be a signal that it's not really useful. Everyone voted function style. Oh, they did? I mean, are people using function style or did they just vote function style? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. How many of each casting style? Yeah, I could actually make a little plugin that counts and ask people to run it. Okay. So, by the way, since we didn't error, this means we read the file successfully. We split the lines successfully. And then I guess, okay, we got to do the sorting, right? We still haven't done the sorting. We're going to quick sort. And we're going to use the 2-argument version. Because we want to compare lines and then characters, and we want to go in order. And that doesn't really map to a scalar unless you make a, I mean, we could shove them into like an S6. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay, so yeah, I might be starting to get tired because I just sat there and spaced. I spaced Space Mountain. Um, what was I? I wanted to put the sort in. Right. And I'm looking at totally the wrong function. Okay. Quick sort. Sorted compare single rewrites. That is the thing. So when we compare single rewrites, all right, and then so we could detect overlaps here, but I think we're going to detect them after we sort, right? Detect overlaps. It means there is a problem. Because the way we're going to do the right is we're going to, you know, save out all the file data from before and yeah. And if you have two rewrites that overlap, it's not really well defined, I think. I don't know. We could think about later if there is a reason to do that. But for this particular rewrite, there's no reason. Okay. Now we are sorting our one element list. Dude, isn't it nuts that we're doing all this at compile time? It's fucking bananas. All right. Like people have no idea. Like yeah. It's so cool what we could do. All right. Pretty even feeling on original and postfix cast. I don't use postfix cast either. I think because so the reason I did cast originally this way with a keyword is because the keyword's very obvious, right? And casts are dangerous, so it's good to have them be obvious. And the thing about the suffix cast is that there's no keyword, and people like that because it's more sleek. But like, does that mean the thesis that the obvious keyword is helpful is wrong? Or does that mean those people are not making a correct judgment? I'm not sure. What I will say is there's some other stuff to think about. Like, so our casts in this language are more dangerous than C++ casts, right? They're like C style casts, whereas in C++, if you try to cast like between objects that are unrelated, it won't let you unless you do like a certain thing, right? Um, and here, casting a pointer to a pointer, it doesn't do any such check. And so, should there be something like that? If there is something like that, does it make casting less dangerous? Um, I don't know. Do I have concerns about the game I'm working on not being part of a popular genre trend? No, and neither should you. Um, a couple of the biggest games of the year were not part of a popular genre slash trend, unless you think that there was a place cards to put rooms in a building so that you could find the 26th room trend genre, right? Like people get concerned about this stuff, but like what people really want is a good game. Yeah, I'm feeling like around Christmas we got to delete at least one of the casting styles, and maybe that'll be function style. I don't know. Okay, so we're doing all these things now. Let's say make new file data for file um, sorted. Okay, so make new file data. Okay, so we're going to say current. I mean, we need to say, all right, builder is a string builder. All right, return builder to string builder string. All right, so we're just going to go um, file, just say line cursor. Um, for sorted. Actually, line cursor is good. We're dereferencing an array, so line one is line zero. Annoyingly. Um, okay. Sorted. All right. While line cursor is less than sorted, a single dot L0 minus 1. Wait, line cursor. let's just say L0 is single dot L0 minus 1 0 based instead of 1 based. All right. Um, Append builder file dot lines line cursor. Append builder new line. Right, line cursor flex equals 1. Okay, so now do this line up to C0. Append the replacement string. Temporary, do the rest of the line. This won't handle multiple rewrites on one line yet, but we want to get this working first in the simple case. Okay, so do this line up to C0. All right, so okay, and then pre::equals file dot lines cursor pre::count equals C0, I guess, right? Append builder pre. These are star builder. Okay. Append the replacement string. Append to builder single dot new text. And then I feel like we're going to be off by 1 here somewhere. Post is file dot lines line cursor. Post equals advance. Post by C1 maybe. Append builder post. Append builder. All right. Now star builder. Hey everybody, check it out. Now, however, at the end, we need to go while line cursor is less than file.lines.count, any lines that come after all rewrites. Okay. Okay, if line cursor is equal to file.lines.count minus 1 and line is equal to whatever, split would give us an empty string. Oh, you know what? Let's do it this way. Get rid of that. Okay, so we're going to do it. We're going to do it way. We're going to do it when we do the lines. Okay. I forgot the new line. I didn't exactly forget. I remembered it, but then in all the chaos, I didn't do it. All right, so that's basically our whole file. Extra new lines down here and all, but it has the rewrite. So that's pretty good. The next step is to handle multiple rewrites on one line. I'm going to do that tomorrow when I am fresh. But do you see how that's useful? So basically we need multiple rewrites on one line. We need to test a few cases. And then we need to test writing the file back over the original file, which is scary. We're also not paying attention to like Linux ass line feeds. Although I guess we kind of are because we're leaving the carriage return in there if there is one. I don't know. I don't know. Does this preserve comments? Yeah, it preserves. The whole point of this is that it preserves exactly the file except for the small parts that you rewrite. So it's not, this is not like program print, you know, where it reconstructs the text from the nodes. This is literally, we're reading the text of the file and we're writing it back out, but we're changing small parts of it. All right, I'm gonna go to bed. You know what? We could do it. We could do a cards before bed, right? We could do one cards, but it's basically midnight now. It's pretty weird how I tend to go to bed like exactly at midnight. I don't know why. It's just what I do now. It's just what I do. Okay. So obviously there's this situation right here. Very eye-catching. Very eye-catching. So 3 is here. 10 just needs to go somewhere. I mean, maybe this all works out, right? So like 10 in the hole, 4 on the 3, 2 pops off, 12 on the third. Yeah, let's just do that. And then now we've got that. And now we have a little bit of a problem because the 3 and the 4 won't necessarily go unless we flip them. But that, we don't care that. Oh, we can flip them. Okay. Duh. Duh. Okay. What do I do? What do I do? These kings are annoying. They're blocking the low card. The 0, 1, 2 are all piled there, but kind of a traffic jam, so maybe we need the 21. Which we can get without too much trouble, but then the 20 is hard. We could just start digging toward the 20, and then we'll have these, so we could go... Seven on the 8, 8 on the 7. Red 7 in the hole, 2 pops off 20. 14 on the 15, these go on there. Blue Jack goes on the queen. And then 6 eats our slot. We almost made it. The 12, 13, 14, 15 can go... Well, eh. Okay, what do we do? I mean, I feel like we gotta... This is so annoying. We kind of gotta do something about it. But it seems hard. It's not that hard because the queens are near the surface. But the two being wedged in there is a little extra, if you know what I'm saying. All right, we're just going to go for entropy reduction here. 7, 8, 7, 8. 5 in the hole. 6 there, 11 there. Oh, I didn't realize that would pop off. Okay, that was the right move. Um, now what? Nested ifs are evil. Why are you people in my chat? What is even happening right now? Why are people who took the programming class that teaches you that functions shouldn't be more than 3 lines long? Why are they in chat right now? Oh my God. Like, I think you just can't. Like, if you think that you could somehow write real software without nested if statements, I don't know what to say. Like, it just feels like someone who would say that just doesn't have experience. I mean, of course, there is such a thing as a pathological pile of way too many ifs that should not be, that we've all seen that. But like saying nested ifs are evil, I just can't even, like, that phrase doesn't even fit into my brain. The phrase, it does not compute. Remember when they used to like jokingly say does not compute? That's literally what I think of that. Okay. We're doing good. We're making progress. You know that guy who came in chat and said there was no visible progress? He was wrong because look at all the cards that are up here. Look at all the cards. Okay, so we could go there. And then I don't know. So blue 8 is here. Gold 6 would be nice, wouldn't it? Under blue 8. Okay. Okay. Now we can do this and get our slot back. Okay, okay, okay. And then 8, 9 can pop off. And 6. And then how do we get our slot back? 7, 6 could go on the 5. Because 8 goes here. Queen's free. Jack goes on the queen. Yeah. Right? We get that. And then we get that. We get that. And we get that. Okay. I think I think now we just have to not fall to the devil. All these are acceptable. These are acceptable. These are acceptable. Everything. What's 9? Wait a minute. Yeah, 9 is mildly not great, but it can't come last. Especially if we do this. We get the stars. All right. Ta-da! There we go. Progress. All right. Thanks, everybody. We may do another stream tomorrow during the day sometime where we finish this up. The goal would be that we could run this on Sokoban and rewrite all the files in a scary way. And that is something that I would prefer to do on the weekend anyway. All right, thanks everyone. See ya.